Ladies and gentlemen, WWE is setting up an insane main event for this upcoming WrestleMania 42 for the Undisputed title. So that's why in today's video, I'm going to be discussing just exactly what I feel like that main event is, who the superstars involved in this main event are, and obviously the parallel that all these superstars have in common, which makes me obviously believe that we're getting this insane main event here at WrestleMania 42. So that's what we are going to be breaking down, discussing in today's video. But as always, be sure to go down in the comments below and let me your thoughts on this topic, whether you agree, disagree, let me know all that down in the comments below. And the challenge for you guys, do not click off this video without leaving a comment on the video, man. It does help out the channel a ton, and who doesn't like having a good old discussion about the world of professional wrestling? But as always, before we get anywhere into any video, be sure to help your boy out by liking the video, subscribe to the channel, turn post notifications so you never miss an upload. Go follow the socials. You can find links to those in the description of this video. That includes my Instagram account, my X account. Do that helps me out a ton. Enough talk. Let's get you guys started into today's Ringside Roundup. All right, so kicking things off, the first superstar that is obviously going to be involved in this main event. Well, we already know it's about the Undisputed World title. So who is obviously currently holding that title? Well, it is none other than Drew McIntyre, and I have no place throughout going to this road to WrestleMania where he loses the title. And even if he does, he's still going to be in that main event. But as I am recording this video, Drew McIntyre is still undisputed WWE champion, so obviously he is going to be involved in this main event, and there's really not much else to talk about. He kind of just is already inserted in there because he already, of course, is the champion. And the same idea goes for none other than Randall Keith Orton, the three most dangerous letters in the freaking game, RKO, man. So Randy Orton, he obviously just won the Elimination Chamber, and the only title he could go after, because the other one was already chosen by Roman Reigns, the only title left for Randy to go after, none other, was the undisputed WWE champion. So obviously Randy is pretty much in here by default along with Drew McIntyre, so not much else to talk about for Randy either. But now we get into none other than the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, man. So Cody Rhodes, I feel, is going to be in this major main event here at WrestleMania, and there is 4 superstars that I do have in this main event. So we already talked about 2. Now we have Cody Rhodes here for the third one. So what is Cody Rhodes' place? How does Cody Rhodes tie into this main event? Well, he ties into this main event that I think WWE is setting up because, well, he literally lost the title to none other than who is currently holding it, Drew McIntyre. He lost to him in the 3 stages of hell, and these two have had matches. I mean, they've had a lot of matches the past, few months, I would say. The past is, is it a year and a half by now? I mean, they've had matches for this undisputed title, Cody Rhodes and McIntyre, back and forth for the undisputed title for a good while by now, for over the past few months. And obviously, finally, Drew McIntyre was able to take the gold home when, like I said, he beat him when he beat Cody Rhodes at obviously the 3 stages, or in the 3 stages of hell match. Now, after that, it is obviously it's no mystery to us that obviously Cody Rhodes clearly is still involved with this undisputed title picture. He's still constantly going after McIntyre. He still wants to take down McIntyre. He wants to take back what's his. He says that Drew McIntyre, he continues just, pretty much just feud with McIntyre. He pretty much just continues to say that, Drew McIntyre is an asshole, and he wants to put an end to Drew McIntyre. And I feel like that is going to tie into this main event of WrestleMania, because I feel like, Cody Rhodes is eventually just going to he's going to get so fed up with getting screwed over by McIntyre that eventually he's probably going to just be inserted into this world title, into this undisputed WWE title match at WrestleMania. Now, before I'm recording this, we do have a match at this upcoming episode of SmackDown between Cody Rhodes and none other than Drew McIntyre for the undisputed champion. And in this match, I feel like Cody Rhodes is going to get screwed over by the superstar that we have not yet discussed about, who is going to be involved in this main event. So I feel like Cody Rhodes pretty much is basically going to get screwed in his upcoming match with Drew McIntyre that he has, and I feel like that is inevitably going to, that is probably going to keep happening up until the road to WrestleMania, until we finally get to WrestleMania, where we finally have the big fatal 4-way with Cody Rhodes obviously being involved in the big fatal 4-way. So I think Cody Rhodes, his place here is pretty much just because McIntyre continues to, he continues to screw over Cody. He continues to run from Cody, and literally the only reason that Cody Rhodes is getting this upcoming match at SmackDown is because SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis, he is obviously, he's pissed at McIntyre that McIntyre keeps screwing everybody over, because he even screwed over Cody Rhodes in the actual Elimination Chamber match itself, which caused Randy Orton to obviously win the match. So, Cody Rhodes, that's pretty much how Cody got this match, and Cody, you just can't tell me that Drew McIntyre is just for some reason going to stop screwing with Cody Rhodes. So I think it's going to continue to keep happening, and obviously that is inevitably going to lead up to Cody Rhodes actually getting himself inserted into the big main event of WrestleMania. All right, now the fourth and final superstar that I do have in this main event here at WrestleMania that I do have predicted, I do have none other than Jacob Fatu, man. So where does Jacob Fatu lie in this entire main event? What is his place? How does he get his shot in this main event here at WrestleMania? Well, it all starts none other than at that 3 stages of hell match that we discussed, where Jacob Fatu would return, and his attempt was to screw over McIntyre from winning the undisputed title from Cody Rhodes, but inevitably that, you know, did not work in Jacob Fatu's favor, because then he would end up getting caught. He would end up getting in a rough patch with Cody Rhodes. They would go at it, and then that would allow McIntyre to escape the final stage of the 3 stages of hell, which allowed McIntyre to obviously win the match and win the title. So that right there instantly puts Jacob Fatu clearly in the undisputed title picture, because, you know, he's wanting to screw over a superstar that's trying to win the undisputed title. So right there, that instantly inputs Fatu into the undisputed title picture. And pretty much like the same thing, just like Cody, well, Jacob Fatu also keeps getting screwed week after week by McIntyre. So not only in the first Elimination Chamber qualifying match that Jacob Fatu had, he was screwed over by McIntyre, because, you know, McIntyre was out there, and in this qualifying match was Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, and none other than, like I said, Jacob Fatu. And in this match, we would see the presence of Drew McIntyre, because he would try to screw over none other than both Cody Rhodes and none other than Jacob Fatu by trying to help Sami win. Like, I'm pretty sure he would Claymore kick Cody Rhodes, and then he would drag Sami Zayn over to Cody Rhodes' corpse and try to get the 1-2-3, which inevitably Cody Rhodes did kick out and later on would win that match. But not only just this match did Drew McIntyre screw Jacob Fatu out of, Jacob Fatu also got another opportunity to qualify in the Elimination Chamber match, because one of the competitors that was in the Elimination Chamber, that being Jey Uso, well, he got attacked, well, supposedly attacked backstage, which then we would need another qualifying match which would happen between none other than Logan Paul and Jacob Fatu. And in this match, Jacob Fatu would once again get screwed over by Drew McIntyre, because Jacob Fatu, I believe he was going for a moonsault or something like that, and he would be on the top rope, and none other Drew McIntyre pops up and clobbers Jacob Fatu with the title. And guess what happens after that? Well, it's only downhill from there for Jacob Fatu, because then he ends up losing to Logan Paul, and that is the second time that Jacob Fatu gets screwed by none other than Drew McIntyre, man. And that's for literally the same thing. He screwed him over once for the Elimination Chamber and for a second time. And as we know, there was a little backstage segment between Jacob Fatu and none other than the SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis. I kind of forgot when it exactly was, but it was a few weeks ago on SmackDown, and we would pretty much just see Jacob Fatu tell Nick that, you know, I'm not going to be waiting around any longer, Nick. I want my shot. I want my shot at Drew McIntyre. I'm not going to be waiting around much longer. But as it seems, Nick Aldis is kind of putting Jacob Fatu, you know, on that postpone. You know, he's kind of postponing, you know, Jacob Fatu getting his hands on Drew McIntyre. And I feel like finally Jacob Fatu is going to snap at this next upcoming SmackDown, where Cody Rhodes does face McIntyre. I feel like there is when Jacob Fatu is going to interrupt yet again. He's probably going to attack McIntyre, and maybe, just maybe, Cody Rhodes will win there, and then that'll cause Cody Rhodes to end up going into WrestleMania as champion. But, you know, that's kind of a whole nother thing. But, you know, I feel like this is when finally Jacob Fatu is going to insert himself, or is going to screw over Drew McIntyre or either Cody Rhodes. He's gonna end up screwing over one of them, and that right there is going to show that Jacob Fatu, he's not waiting around any longer. Nick Aldis basically needs to do something. He needs to let Jacob Fatu get his hands on McIntyre, which maybe then we see a one-on-one match between Jacob and Drew McIntyre, which then maybe Jacob Fatu gets screwed there. But then, you know, we finally get to that big main event there at WrestleMania. So that's kind of where I think Jacob Fatu lies in all this. All right, now finally we need to discuss the parallel or the similarities that all 4 of these superstars have, in the sense of why they're most likely going to be put into this big main event fatal 4-way here at the next upcoming WrestleMania 42. So what is the big similarity? Well, it's pretty obvious, man. They all have gotten screwed by Drew McIntyre, except for, I guess you could say, Randy, but I'm pretty sure even then he's been screwed. But Randy, either way, he's getting a shot in there. He already, his parallel with all this is that he won the Elimination Chamber. His similarity is that he earned a shot at getting a shot at Drew McIntyre, basically. So he's kind of, I mean, he has similarities. In fact, he's gotten screwed by McIntyre, but, you know, compared to these other guys, I would say not as much. But still, the major parallel, the major similarity is that all of these guys have gotten screwed by Drew McIntyre. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Jacob Fatu, man. So that is literally the main similarity. They all gotten screwed by McIntyre. McIntyre clearly does not want to face any one of these guys, and that's, you know, that's why in that in the first Elimination Chamber qualifying match that Jacob Fatu was in, as we mentioned, with Sami Zayn and Cody, that's why, you know, Drew McIntyre wanted to have Sami Zayn win that, because he didn't want to face either Cody Rhodes or Jacob Fatu, and inevitably that is going to be the downfall. That will be the downfall for Drew McIntyre, because then that's when eventually Nick Aldis is finally just going to, like I said, put everybody in the main event at WrestleMania. Everybody obviously being, you know, Cody, Fatu, and Randy Orton, but Randy Orton's of course already in there. So I mean, the main similarity, they all have gotten screwed by McIntyre. McIntyre does not want to face any one of these guys, and that inevitably is going to, that's not going to lead to anything relatively good for McIntyre, because like I said, eventually there's just going to be some point where Nick Aldis finally, you know, tells Drew that I'm tired of your shit. I'm tired of you week after week. You're ruining everything. You're causing havoc. You're pissing people off, Drew. I'm tired of your shit. You're putting this title on the line. You're putting the Undisputed title on the line at WrestleMania, whether you like it or not, against all four of against none other than Cody, Randy, and of course Jacob Fatu, which obviously is just an insane main event that I want to see. A lot of people want to see, and I mean, dude, that would just be such a great main event. You're putting some of the top guys in the main event, the top guys on WWE television right now. You're putting them all in a main event at a major show like WrestleMania, like the biggest show of all year round for WWE, the biggest show, and that being WrestleMania, and you're doing it for the biggest title, the biggest award I would say you can possibly earn, as far as a championship goes, that being the Undisputed Championship, man. That is just an insane main event to me, man. So I think WWE is clearly setting this up. I mean, there's really no arguing that this is clearly what they're setting up. I mean, everything that what Nick Aldis is doing is telling McIntyre, he's sick of Drew McIntyre, and this week he's giving Cody Rhodes a shot. But like I said, I feel like Jacob Fatu is most likely going to interfere in that, which shows that Fatu, he's finally not waiting around any longer, and he is going to be taking his opportunities. He is going to be starting chaos. He's going to put an end to this real quick, basically, and eventually Nick Aldis going to get overwhelmed, possibly, and he's going to get pissed off, because obviously this is all because of Drew McIntyre, and he's going to be so pissed that, like I said, it's all going to come down to him finally announcing that we are getting that big fatal four-way at none other than WrestleMania 42, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, that is going to wrap up today's Ringside Roundup. As always, I hope you guys did enjoy, and like I said, be sure to leave me your thoughts on this topic, man. Is this a fatal four-way at WrestleMania that you do want to see? Do you agree with my thought process, man? Do you like the superstars that can possibly be involved in this main event? Let me know all that down in the comments below, man. Like I said, challenge for you guys, leave at least one comment before clicking off the video. Like I said, who doesn't love to have a good old discussion about the world of professional wrestling? And also commenting on any video of mine does help out the channel a lot, man. So be sure to go down in the comments, leave your thoughts, man. As always, before we get out of here, you guys know what to do. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. Go follow the socials, and you can find links to those in the description of this video. That includes my Instagram account, my X account. Do all that, helps me a ton, and I'll catch y'all boys in the next one. Peace.